Whatever you present, what's the first thing that comes to mind about how to be at your best to do what you're going to do?
So the room's all set up and it's not about me, it's always about them. And it's not even about the content, although that's certainly what a lot of them are there to hear. They're there to hear the content and to learn. That's secondary. The most important thing is about the people that are in the room, and so I'll put them first before everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard you say that it's just not acceptable for people not to get it if they're wanting to get it.
Absolutely. So their need drives my direction. Their need drives my need to help them understand and help them to connect. So again, it's always about them.
So their need drives your direction.
Yeah. So if they're not getting it, I'll take the ultimate responsibility on that. Irrespective of whether they want to learn, I don't care. I don't care if they don't want to learn, because I'll help them learn. They just don't know what they're missing out on yet. And because I'm used to working with really resistant people, so if I cared that they don't want to learn, well, that would be the wrong caring. What I care is that they can learn, they are able to learn, they will learn.
So what drives that in you? What's in the back of your mind that drives it?
Yeah, service.
Service.
To be in service of the people that you've been commissioned to be in service of the people that have, for whatever reason, either by force or through their own need, that they're here, and I've been asked to provide a service.
So what's your core question?
How can I provide this service? What do I need to do to be able to provide that service of imparting knowledge, imparting the learning, and to contribute to their growth? What do I need to do? Another one is how quickly, how efficiently can I do that? Yeah, those would be some of the core questions that drive the need, and the frame that drives that ultimately is that I will do whatever it takes. I don't have any limitations on that. That would restrict me too much. Whatever they need, I'll do. So that's always about service.
So if we go back even further, why is learning so important?
Arthur C. Clarke said, "They that know how to learn know enough." So it doesn't matter what you leave your children. You can leave them an inheritance, but if they don't know how to learn, then they'll waste it, they'll fritter it away. So I think the greatest gift that we as trainers can actually impart in another person is the desire to learn, because then they can do anything. So if I can instill in a person an awareness that they can learn Neuro-Sematics, they can learn those meta-programs, they can learn mind lines, they can learn this, they can become and learn to be an outstanding trainer, then my job's done. It's done.
So when someone comes, they don't want to learn, where do you immediately go in your mind?
I'm not seduced by the behaviour.
Okay.
It doesn't impress me or intimidate me at all, because I see what they're not seeing. So I see through the facade, I see through the mask they're wearing, the grandiose, the over projecting of themselves, that within that man or woman there's a child wanting to get out, that wants to learn, that wants to grasp this. And often they don't know that that's what's possible. And I'm okay with that. They don't need to know.
So you don't seem to, for the most part, buy into resistance.
No, it's just a facade.
It's
They're
just
protecting
facade.
themselves, I understand that. They're afraid. They're like standing on the edge of a cliff and they don't know that they can fly. They don't know they've got wings. So it's okay. But I know they have. So it's just how I think about it. I know they can fly. They don't know it yet.
So when they learn, and you've done your job, and now they have the tool for going out there, what do you get out of that?
I get a sense of, like, yeah, that's right. That's the sense of purpose. That's a sense of because what I really like about it is, there's a humility that goes with it, is that we never truly know how we've contributed to make a powerful difference in someone's life. And we talked a few days back about how I've met all sorts of trainers, and they get up on here and I'll use the term, a fresh expression, a showboat. They're a showboat. It's all about them. You can tell it as soon as I meet them, and I've met these men and women, and it's all about them. And sure, they'll have the $250,000 1-hour speech, but ultimately, how I perceive it is that it's not about that. And so what I get from it is the humility of knowing that I'll never know what we've done to this group. I'll never know the many hearts and the heads that they've connected to. And I think that's how it's got to be. Because if I knew, I could be all puffed up. But because I don't know, I know that I've made some difference, but I'll never know. So it always keeps the level down, because you can't get too big. And I like that. So when a person leaves, I just think, I hope it goes well. I think I can be assured I've done a good job, but because I never know, it just keeps me having to do a better job. Because I truly don't know, so could I have done more to help them? And I'm always in that bind. And the danger is being careful when to call it, I've done enough. And
So how do you manage that?
I've got a long history, and you probably know that. I'm very patient, very persevering, very resilient, and I'll do all I can. But in a few instances, like I said the other day, one person, out of would have been hundreds and hundreds of street kids that I've dealt with, only one I had to say you have to go. And that was because it was endangering my co-trainer. It wasn't about me, I'll handle it, but when I see my co-trainer at that time in tears, this is back in the 90s, it's enough now. You can go. So I'm protective. I'm protective. I won't allow someone to hurt someone in any shape or form. So that's probably where it crosses the line for me. But yeah, I've got a very, very, I think patience, calmness and centeredness are critical components of being a very good trainer, rather than grandiose, very extrovert. When I meet those people, there's no sense of level. They're not.
Okay. So one thing I know about you is that you're always learning.
Yeah.
You're always growing. Every time I've benchmarked you, it's been nearly 3.5 all the way.
Yeah.
There's times when you have an off day, but most of the time you're just at that. So what drives you to go to keep pushing it?
Yeah. So I run a very strong challenge self meta program. That I enjoy that. I think that what am I not doing? It's a mismatching what I'm doing.
So that's another core question.
Yeah. What is it that I'm not doing? What is it that I need to get better at? Where am I feeling that I'm not as confident? So it can be in content, certainly sitting beside you. It can be. And I think, okay, I've got to sort that out. I've got to tidy that area up. So that's the neat thing with sitting beside you, is that area of my training delivery of this topic, that I need to really refine that. I need more explanations. So sometimes, as I was this morning, I'll take a few notes, think, I've got to punctuate that in my knowledge bank. Yeah, so it's that challenge of always wanting to fill the gaps in this context. Yeah.
Okay. So when we started, co-training was new.
Yeah.
And so, and yet now, it's just so natural.
Yeah.
And I heard you say the other day you prefer it.
Yeah, I do. I really enjoy co-training. And I think that was the biggest challenge for me. And we're greater together than apart stuff. And I've learned that co-training allows those gaps to be filled much easier that I seek to fill. It saves me a job.
Okay.
He'll answer that one. So that frees me to not have to. And I don't have to know everything, and I'm okay with that. Yet with a co-trainer, we're able to give be in service. So this is how it links back to that, in service in a greater way than I can on my own, because service is the ultimate frame in that area. On my own, I am limited, and to acknowledge the limitations and to be celebrative of the fact that two are able to be in service in a much more effective way. So that's why.
So even though we've been doing this training and saying lots of things, if you were to summarize 2 or 3 things that new trainers just have to know and do, that's going to be absolutely essential as they move out, what would those be?
You've got to do it. You'll never ever know enough.
Okay.
You won't ever know enough, and you'll never have it sorted.
Okay.
So you've got to be everything isn't going to be right. You ain't going to know enough. You ain't going to have the right voice. You aren't going to be able to do everything in nice rapport and engagement. You're going to make huge mistakes, and just get out. And you've got to step out. Otherwise, and do it as soon as possible. The longer you leave it from this training, the less likely you'll do it. So, for instance, for me, when I came to trainers training, I'd already planned what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it. So I didn't just sort of like get off the plane and go, now what do I do? I already knew before going is that I'm going there, I'm going to be a trainer, and when I come back, I'm going to train people. I'm going to do that. So the sooner you make that commitment that we're going to use this stuff, the better. Otherwise you won't, because you'll become procrastinative and you'll just put it off, and you'll find more reasons to put it off. And to me, that's a complete waste, and I won't allow that.